Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And today I wanted to do what I hope is sort of an educational video for some of you guys. Now, the reality is a lot of the guys that watch my channel are already very familiar with fragrances, and I guess you could say they're students of the fragrance game. But I do periodically get questions as simple as how many sprays should I be using with my cologne? There's a lot of younger guys that maybe just getting into the hobby, even some older just getting into the hobby that are really unsure about how to spray, where to spray, how many sprays. In this video, I wanted to just mention a couple things that I think are going to be super helpful when deciding on how to apply your fragrance. Really quickly, guys, we are on the road to 20,000 subscribers. I could not be more humbled by that. I appreciate all the love and the support you guys have shown me over the last couple of years here on YouTube. So if you like what you see today, I just ask that you like it. It truly helps the channel grow, and I appreciate any support. Be sure to subscribe if this is content that you love seeing. So let's get into it. Now, there are different opinions on how many sprays you should be doing of your fragrance, but in my experience, what I have found to be sort of the best approach to applying fragrance is it really depends. It really depends on the fragrance and the event and basically your own taste, what you like. So what I find is a lot of times guys will say that they can't smell the fragrance. It lasts an hour. Nobody around them can smell it. I think that person is probably underspraying. They're probably not applying enough fragrance to begin with. I don't blame them for doing that. I think a lot of times when it comes to cologne, a lot of guys sort of lean in the direction of less is more, which some fragrances, I would agree with that. But a lot of fragrances, and I would even venture to say most fragrances that are found at your local department store need to be maybe a little oversprayed just to get noticed, because these fragrances, they're not powerful. They're not long lasting. They're mainly made to be mass appealing. Some are long lasting, some can perform, but for the most part, what they're presenting to you, what they're shoving down your throat when you walk into a Macy's, those ones have usually been around a long time. They suffer from reformulations and they don't last that long. So let's just, for example, let's take a look at Versace Pour Homme, okay? This is a light, vibrant, summertime staple in most people's collections. This is not a fragrance that I'm gonna spray twice, okay? This is not a fragrance that I'm gonna spray 5 times. This is one that, no lie guys, I'm probably spraying this 7 to 10 times. And that might sound like a lot, but for this scent, it's not. Part of this is understanding what your fragrances are, how they're performing, what they're essentially structured to be. And this is a lighter, more uplifting, as I said, summertime fragrance that can be oversprayed. And when I say that, really, it's not being oversprayed in that I think it's being sprayed just right if I'm doing 7 to 10 sprays. Then you have something like a Bentley for Men Intense, which is a newer addition to my collection, but it's one that I've tested before and even worn before. Notoriously powerful fragrance. Lasts a long time, projects really well. This is a fragrance that I would do closer to 5 sprays on. I'm not doing 10 sprays of Bentley for Men Intense. Maybe some guys would. Me personally, no. Because then you're the cologne guy, then you're getting probably some negative attention, things that you don't want. Bentley for Men Intense, strong fragrance, 5 to 6 sprays max for me personally. And that's basically it. And from that perspective, it really depends on the fragrance. Now the event, I think some guys should factor in, and that could be work, right? You can still wear a strong fragrance to work, but if it's a stronger fragrance and you're wearing it to work, I would maybe do 2 or 3 sprays, and that's it. If it's a much closer to skin scent or just maybe an office-friendly fragrance, you can probably do closer to 5 or 6 sprays. So maybe the same Versace Pour Homme, for example, I might wear this to work. I'm only gonna do 5 sprays of this to work. If I'm going out that night, 10 sprays. So just again, I adjust to the event. And I guess you could say the same for Bentley for Men Intense. This is one, again, that I probably wouldn't wear to work, only because it is that attention grabbing. If I were to wear it to work, I might do 1 to 2 sprays. And if I were to wear it out that evening, again, 5 to 6. So hopefully that helps you guys in at least how I approach applying fragrances. Now, the next thing that I think might be a little less important than everything I just discussed is how to apply the scent. So applying fragrance, I mean, to each his own, and some people have their own techniques and what works for them. Me personally, what I normally do is I'll do 1 spray on each side of my neck. Now with me, I try to keep the bottle relatively sort of midway between full arm's length and too close to my neck. So I'll do 1 spray on each side, and then I will do 1 spray on each shoulder. And then the next technique is, I can't take credit for. Ashley in Paris, I believe. She has a YouTube channel. She's a perfumer, or at least working towards becoming a perfumer. Very educational channel, very informative. I will try to link the video that she did a while back down below. And if I can't find it, I will link her channel. So she just had sort of a similar video on how to apply fragrance. And she had made a couple suggestions that I've been doing that work for me. And I'm gonna let you guys know about them. A lot of people make the mistake, right? They do the classic, and if you've been into fragrance for a while now and you see someone do this, it's kind of cringeworthy. You want to correct them, but not embarrass them. It's a whole thing. But if someone sprays their wrist and then rubs it together, that's obviously a big no-no. You're just accelerating the life of the fragrance by rubbing it together. You're gonna lose a lot of those top notes. There's a whole thing behind it. What Ashley suggests in her video is that one of the issues with spraying your wrists, which is a very common area for people to spray, is that it's a pulse point, and it can sometimes, because it heats up quickly and often, it might not last as long on your skin as you want it to. She suggests spraying your bare chest and your bare stomach. So maybe 1 to 2 sprays on your chest and your stomach, and you're good to go. And that's what I've been doing, and it works for me. During the day, I can smell the fragrance on me, which I enjoy. And she also, I want to say it was Ashley, suggested maybe even spraying the back of your knees. So summertime, guys wearing shorts, girls wearing, sundresses, spray the back of your knees. 1 spray on each side. It's gonna help with that sillage effect, your scent trail, as you're walking by people. So I don't do that one as often. Periodically I will with a lighter fragrance, but for the most part I don't do that, but it's an option. And again, guys, this is subjective. Do what works for you. One thing I will say, if you take anything from this, is that you got to spray your clothes. A lot of guys complain about longevity. Just be cautious if you're wearing a white shirt and a high oil concentration fragrance, or a darker fragrance, an amber color fragrance. It could stain the shirt. So if that's the case, I would suggest going under the shirt. But definitely, I'd like to spray the sides, okay? The corners of my shoulders. I have broad shoulders, so that helps me, I guess, create a little scent bubble for myself. Spraying the corners of my shoulders is always 2 places I go. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I don't know if this video is going to help anyone. I hope it does. I would also love maybe some of your guys' routines, suggestions. How are you spraying your fragrance? Drop it in the comment section down below. And if you guys haven't yet, the 7 fragrances sitting behind me is last week's rotation. So I'd love for you guys to go check out that video. I will link it here. But until then, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video.